Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. Now, if you've watched more than a few of my videos, you know that quite often I have either a scratchy throat or a throat clearing or a cough and of course it doesn't improve if I do several videos in one day. But I think it was Carrie the Paper Monkey who at one point said, why don't you try having a little bit of honey before you start a video and see if that helps. So I just had about maybe half a teaspoon of honey and just sort of let it, slide down my throat of its own volition. So we will see if over time that smooths out, sort of soothes. We're not off to a great start. To see if that soothes my throat. I think this is my third video of the day, to be honest. Anyway, this is, I guess, part 2 of a recent haul. And I just started, I'm starting out with this quilt that I bought at the antique store. I love this corally, salmony color that's on the back. Now there is fading. I don't know what is inside, to be honest, but it's got that wonderful puckery look, from having been washed. Obviously the quilting that has been done as well. So I don't know what's up with that. I do know that I washed it. Oh, there's fading here as well. It must have been folded along this line, if you can see that. And it's a double size. Anyway, I did wash it, and it took, I think, 2 or 3 extra cycles of rinse and spin to get it to the point where I could, lift it out of there and put it in the dryer. So, and it smells considerably better. I mean, it smells fresh. It didn't smell bad before. It just smells fresh now. So, how this gets used and how it translates into what I'm doing or what, excuse me, or how I might, cut it up to share it in Maker's Market or the my coffee shop remains to be seen. Now, this video, okay, the first one was kind of miscellaneous and included linens and so on, some personal things, the crime game and so on. Anyway, this one is more probably crafting supplies, and some of the bags I haven't even opened yet, so we can do that together. I will say, though, welcome to new and returning subscribers. I love to have you here. I love to have you write to me. Tell me your first name if it's not apparent in your handle. You can also tell me where you live if you don't mind, because that's always good to know. As well as, those of you who are making the plunge and subscribing. It is a no-risk proposition to do that anyway. But let's begin. I should maybe get rid of some of these smaller items so I can open this book. I bought this box of Rit dye. It's like a forest green. So what was that, the 80s? Can't see what I paid for it. Anyway, I'm thinking that powdered dye is inert. Oh, 50 cents. So I don't believe that this stuff would ever spoil. And I do need to kind of pull these things together and see what I have. I may have 3 different colors now, and one of these days I might just have to get messy and start using them. This brand is Tintex. Rit, of course, has another one. Now, I'm sure that the liquid dye that comes in a bottle is probably easier to deal with, but I don't like the price, so It powder all the way, baby. I've never seen Sudoku cards before. Now, I love this game. I play it on my phone as part of my New York Times subscription to games. But I thought it was cute, and it's divided into easy, difficult, I guess easy and difficult. What? Is there no porridge in between? That's odd. I would have thought there'd be 3 levels. I just thought it was kind of cute. And the solution is on the back, so obviously it would be easy to cheat if a person were so inclined. But I just thought it would be cute to stick into a pocket. And, you know, it's one of those things that you could do without having the other cards at all. So that's Bicycle brand. So kind of sweet. And because I guess they intend you to write on there, it is not all glossy either. So that's a bonus in itself. I do have to pull out some cards one day and just, you know, run with some ideas of what to do with them. Now, I kind of thought, based on this picture, it was of course sealed, but I tried to save some time and I slid it open. I kind of was hoping that these might be sort of that browny coppery color, but no, they're silver. And I'm not going to complain about that. 50 cents. I have enough of those guys to last me a lifetime, but I still buy them when I see them at a good price. This looks like it's never been out of the box. 52 tips for the bride-to-be. And I have to say that at this store, this thrift store, now these are glossy, and it looks like, well, it says tips for the bride-to-be. So, okay, to elope or not. Then at the back, I guess there's some rationale, you know, help you make the decision. Honeymoon delights. Blah, blah, blah. Cheap buds, bridesmaids gowns, good luck charm, you know, so the whole thing, which would be fun in sort of a women's journal or a young singles journal or whatever the theme might be. Speaking of that, oh, I started to say that in this store there was a heck of a lot of wedding stuff. And in fact, what did I do with, oh, right here. There was a package of this blue, light blue tulle, these circles. You know, back in the day, you'd put some chocolate-covered almonds or some kind of other candies and tie a piece of ribbon around there. And that was a wedding favor. Now, of course, we can do better than that when we're crafting, so I have to come up with something with that. But, of course, there were a lot of other things that were really of no use to me. But they would have been, you know, a good find for somebody who's actually going to get married. I thought these were cool because I love napkins, and this is kind of, it says sexy and single, so we know that, you know, applies to a certain crowd or a certain demographic. But I just thought it was cool because who doesn't love an animal print? There's a martini. There's this fancy damask thing in the background. Like, oh, I should say with napkins that I do have, excuse me, I do have bundles listed in my coffee shop, on Etsy, and in Maker's Market. And I have themed them. Well, I've bundled them, I should say, by themes. And that could be something like nature, or that could be a color theme. So, you know, florals and French and stuff like that. So, you know, if you love, and I've just done a recent video on the magic of napkins, if you love a little tiny, inexpensive piece of art to decorate your journal, then napkins are the way to go, in my opinion. That would explain why I have a million of them. This, because you know I'm short of gift wrap, so I'm sure you're not going to be surprised that I picked up this package. That is another thing on my to-do list, to put together bundles of gift wrap, and haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that. I do know that someone reached out to me after my gift wrap video and said, well, you know, I'd like this and this and this and this. So, you know who you are. I am still waiting to gather up those items and try to put together a bundle price for you. And I certainly don't mind, you know, entertaining those kinds of requests. Anyway, let's do this, and then we'll probably have to get into the scrapbook. I have a weakness for wallpaper borders, and of course, I took the wrapper off and, you know, undid the tape and so on. You never know what you're going to get till you know, unroll it, because, yeah, they can show you a picture, but you don't get the whole idea. This one is lovely at that the edges, like those linens and so on, are, you know, kind of, I don't know, would it be accurate to say laser cut? So this, I think both packages had a barcode on them. So from my research, barcodes sort of came into common use in the 70s. So this is clearly vintage. And it would just, well, let me just see what the height is at its widest point. Well, just over 6.5 inches. So this would easily fit into a journal as a signature page. And typically, you know, because these things have been wound up for, you know, just 50 years or so, typically what I do is pre-cut them into signature sizes. Sometimes it's just, you know, 11 inches wide, or sometimes it's longer depending on what the pattern is. So in this one, I don't know where I'd cut it, but so that, you know, there'd be enough to make pockets on either side. And then just for weeks or months, if I forget where I put them, I let them begin to flatten out. And, you know, that is a bit of a process, and it is a little labor intensive, but then they're ready to go when you want them to go. So, you know, that's probably another thing I should be bundling, because I'm sure I have enough variety in a kitchen theme to do it, you know, to break it up that way. But anyway, one thing at a time. And then there's this one. OMG. It is so wide, 10 inches. So you'd be hard-pressed to make that work in a normal-sized journal, but it would be pretty attractive in a tall skinny. So same scenario here. So, you know, you may think, oh, great, she got that, and she showed us, and she put it away. Well, no, there's hours or days of work after these videos to actually make sure that they do get used at some point. Paid 50 cents for each of these. I think this is like a Dollarama or Dollar Tree type thing. Does it say on here? No, but these flowers would typically be too bulky to just put on a page, but they would be good for, you know, a journal topper. Sorry about the rustling. I just wanted to see. Oh, they're twined together. I did want to see how easy it would be. And of course, it would be easy. I just don't know if I want to do it. To take one apart and sort of get down to maybe, you know, thinner layers. Now, they sort of have that curve built into them, so, but it could still be flattened out if a person so chose. I could probably just flatten it out with my fingers too, or quite a bit flatter than it was. So, you know, don't be afraid to most of us aren't afraid to break some stuff. So don't be afraid to take things apart and make them more usable for you. Now you can see just with that little bit of manipulation that it's already quite a bit, other than this center bud area, but I could probably flatten that too. So, you know, it almost takes on the look of a pressed flower, you know, when you got a corsage, and then you really love the boy, and then you put it in a book. So that can almost take on that sort of a look. And given these colors, it would definitely fit in with that shabby, you know, vintagey type look. So I'll add this to I have all my silk and paper flowers separated by color. So I'll add those to the right bags for that. Okay, I have, I guess three bags and then this. You know what? Maybe I'll show you this and get it out of the way. So the reason I have this long bent ruler of mine, this is 14.5 inches tall and 12 inches wide. And you can see that there's probably well, let's just measure the height. Almost 3 inches deep. So I didn't know what I was going to find inside because, you know, sometimes these things can be, you know, a pleasant surprise, and sometimes they can be a disappointment. It seems that a lot of people who are reselling things now strip these things naked, then sell, you know, the empty book, and then piece out the stuff that was inside. Well, I was pleased to see that this, and of course you probably can't see it all, but take my word for it. These vintage cards. Now it says birthday 1942, so that gives us a good indication of when. Now the nice thing about this is that whoever it was, where is my little scraper, lifter, doohickey? I'm gonna just, nobody glued the living daylights out of this. So that, I'm thinking, is a definite plus here. Because quite often, people just, now I hope I'm not going to, I mean, I think we've all bought or received things that clearly were removed from, you know, a similar type situation. I probably shouldn't be doing this. But, you know, sometimes you start and you just can't stop yourself. Now, I guess worst case scenario, well, it is leaving a little bit behind. Worst case scenario is that this card is one of those that is double thickness. So if necessary, I could separate it and I would still have that part intact. There's a little foil piece there. Why? Oh, because there's a little foil piece there. So, you know, chances are a person would glue this down to the page, have this be a pocket or something. So I think that's not terribly bad. I've certainly done and seen worse. Anyway, this is cool. Even less holding this one in place. But again, I'm not gonna keep doing that because I've made my point. Obviously, something was removed. Something was removed. And then we get into things like this, 1942. Some interesting names there. I haven't looked, obviously, at any of this stuff. Now, some of these things, I don't know if you can see over here, but, you know, got bent in the opening and closing of the book, but that can be fixed. Now, would you believe that the rest of this thing, I should maybe move this over a bit, is all Christmas. Dear Manville. That is an unusual name, I would say. But just look at, whoops. Oh, see, that one came off nicely. If they could all do that. It's nice that there are these letters in there too. 1943, Sawyerville, Quebec. Nice handwriting too. Anyway, page after page after page of Christmas cards. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is about. These are too young, I'm sure, to be digitized and you know, put up for sale. Oh, here's a birthday. Oh, see, I didn't. So maybe every year there's a birthday and then we go into Christmas. But anyway, is this not precious? And believe it or not, okay, so I got this from an antique store. And believe it or not, this was one of the more reasonably priced things, I thought. So I was definitely glad to pay him what he wanted because I thought it was reasonable. 1943. More Christmas cards. I'm not going to flip every page, but now that I've seen that there are more, boy, some of these have taken a beating with their corners. Now that I've seen there's another page of birthday cards, I'm hoping that there might be more of those as well. Oh, they're not. They're just putting up their Christmas tree on December 21st. I don't know why some of these were left open like that, but okay. Another year, another birthday. She doesn't get, or is it a she? Have we determined that? Who is getting this stuff? I liked how back in the day people signed Mr. and Mrs. Like, hey, maybe if you're sending me this, we could be on a first name basis. Anyway, I guess I should turn towards the back. And of course, I haven't counted the pages or anything like that, but let's just maybe see what years this covers. 46, so now we've gone, this is already 4 years worth. 53, oh, that's kind of a gap. Did people stop sending cards or what? Here's a loose one, that's nice. Okay, some people have their Christmas cards personalized. So the loose ones are definitely a bonus. Is anyone putting a year inside? Anyway, sorry, I'm probably taking more time on this than you would prefer. Oh, look at that fuchsia. Okay, this, oh, this is detached. This, let me maybe go a bit this way and see if I can figure out what year this was. Sorry guys, but I haven't had a, okay, 53. So it's kind of 10 years worth of stuff. So very pleased about that. Okay, now I can move it out of the way. And not to mention the bonus letters that are in there. Let me have a swig of my hot water, which is now cold. I'm such a wimp with coffee. I have 1 cup a day. a flavored coffee done in my Keurig. This bag I paid $2.50 for, so let's see what we've got. So the rest of the time I might have a tea, you know, or just drink hot water. So this has, well, I guess that was sticky at one time. So it's referencing baby stuff here. So I guess you'd put the baby's picture in there and maybe just put this backing back on and it holds it in place, is what I'm thinking. That's probably a scrapbooking supply of some kind. Now in here, oh, those are photo corners. I need to pull all my, how do we get in here? I need to pull all my photo corners together and do something with them. I obviously have ones that are more vintage looking, you know, the typical black ones. In fact, I thought I had some near me. Doesn't matter, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, heart sticker, stars. So these I should find the others and put them together and do something with them. I did see a good idea, I just haven't made it my own yet. And then we have a couple of small stencils. So basically the alphabet, a cupid, oh, a pregnant person, somebody on a bike. That's kind of random, isn't it? I do have a binder that I keep my stencils in. Oh, and here's a Christmas one. Oh, again, kind of weird. A couple reindeer, a sleigh, wedding rings, a bride and groom, a border, some weather icons. Yeah, so the advantage to something like this is that the size is pretty useful. Some Christmas stickers. I don't know why anyone would roll them up instead of just folding them, but anyway, I'll add that to my Christmas stuff. I'm not a Halloween person at all, but here are 2 rolls. So it's a yard, essentially, of spiders and of, you know, a ghost, a house, pumpkins, that sort of thing. So I don't know. Either I maybe put some of this in Happy Mail or donate it back somewhere. I thought this was interesting. Excuse me, it says self-adhesive magic mesh. It's sticky, scrapbooking, rubber stamping, great for kids, acid neutral, non-toxic, no mess, and CK, okay, whatever that means. CK, okay. So let's see if it still has its stick. I've used stuff like this in the past, but of course, a far bigger roll. Of course, I'll never find the end. A far bigger roll, and it is the stuff that contractors use for drywall. It's sticky, so that would be great to use. And you know, a small piece of something like this is also great for stenciling. You don't need to rush out there and buy, you know, millions of stencils when you can just use what you have in your own house. Okay, this is a little 4. Okay, so this will be cute on a page. 4 images there. It's only 4 inches wide, so it easily fit on a page. And yeah, it looks like maybe we could put some ancestors in those windows. These are slide mounts. It says 10 slide mounts, just charming embellishments. Not so sure if I'm fond of that green, but why couldn't it be bent this way and then I've got a neutral? Of course, when I was trying to get into the bag, that stupid gluey strip ripped off some of this, but of course, that could be covered. So I need to keep this near me and use it quick like. Typically what I do then with those bags, because they're so annoying, that glue, is I cut that part off. And typically, well, this is kind of annoying too, the way it's folding down. Typically, just to make it a bit neater, I cut the other end off so that it's, you know, it's a little easier to store. But who is going to store this? Not me. I'm going to quickly start using it, she said optimistically. Here's another. This is really heavy duty. Is that? It looks like that's wood. I wonder if somebody painted that and then stamped it. If they did, it's pretty well done. Maybe it was machine made. Anyway, I will add this with my Christmas stuff. There will be, oh, here are more corner, whatchamacallits, photo corners. Months and months ago, last summer probably, Carol from the Crinkled Path asked me if I would be sort of the Canadian whatever, I like to say ambassador, for a collaboration that she organizes in July, I believe. Sort of a Christmas in July kind of thing. So I don't think my role is very big other than, you know, helping spread the word and maybe convincing some Canadians to jump on board. These are plastic. Okay, what are they calling them? Scrapbook fun frames. And there are supposed to be 10 of them, so clearly between these plastic ones, between some vintage ones that I have, between some gorgeous red and buff colored ones that Carol sent me, I need to start doing something with this. And I do have a number of pressed flowers that I, you know, pressed over the years. So maybe it's time to pull those out and make something happen. And then this fancy paper clips. So I don't know, that's maybe a dollar store type tag. Obviously, we get rid of the packaging and we throw the clips in with the where I keep my very, very, very special paper clips. So special, in fact, that I don't even use them. And you can pause and do an eye roll here if you wish, because that's how I feel. Gotta get better at, like, what am I saving this for? They're still making paper clips, so I don't need to save mine. Hope they get into the museum of, you know, whatever. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me put at least this one aside for my blush journal. That's how you use them, one clip at a time. Oh, here's a small bag, $1.50 for this. And if you ever saw my sorting buttons video, you know that someone should call the authorities when I start looking at buttons in the thrift store. Hey, some purple ones. I do sort my buttons by color, as you can imagine, because that's how I seem to do most things. So I will put these in the right containers, jars. Oh, look at this fancy one. Oh, here's another one. And it's always a bit of, you know, value judgment as to, is it a dark maroon or is it brown? And those big life questions. A couple of those rhinestone-y ones. Ooh, these are velvet or something. Cool. Could they make these bags any tinier? Great. Okay, what have we here? Obviously a place to do calculations. When we had our business, we dealt with the wholesale HA kid. Boy, if I knew then what I know now. These cute little envelopes are cool too. I saved those. Empty. So these look like, you know, probably the things that we all have in our closet when you buy something and there's a spare button attached. Hey, that probably goes with the blush. Where did I put that clip? Did I lose it already? Oh, well. We'll start another pile there. White, guaranteed washable. I don't know if you can tell the age of a button. Well, this is obviously old. It says 15 cents, but is the fact that they are sewn on rather than stapled on an indication of age? I wonder. I wonder. If the bag looks like it's, you know, not all crumbly like this one, then I save it. Although these little bags are a bit annoying and hard to use sometimes. This is fairly old too, 25 cents. This packaging has seen better days though. Okay, got a few little bags. And then, okay, these are snap fasteners. Okay, and then the final bag, which I also have not cut into, is this one. Now I paid $4.50, which, you know what, first thought seems, oh, that's kind of a lot. But then I was trying to size up what was in there. And I see that, you know, 2 bundles of, oh, there's a bag alone is worth, whatever. Probably from drapes or bedding or something like that. So it's a good thing to use. Clear storage. A person could theoretically hang it up. Now, I wasn't so sure about this. It takes up a big part of the bag. Now, I had my red days, my red years, in fact. Still have a soft spot for red. I have something that would go with this, so maybe I need to bring red back into my life. One day, years and years ago, I had a part-time job as a census taker, like for the federal census, you know, where you count heads in the country to see how many of us there really are. Anyway, they always like to give you a territory outside of where you actually, you know, away from your home area, because I guess they think that people are more likely to cooperate and be forthcoming if it's to a stranger as opposed to, you know, the brother-in-law or whatever. So I was in this place. I mean, the place, the little community is so tiny. It's a hamlet. So a hamlet is, what is the official? Can't remember what the number of people is to make something a hamlet versus a village. 2 bunches of these probably could stand to be, I'm just doing the sniff test, could probably stand to go through the washing machine. I'll throw these into lingerie bags and do them with the linens that I did in another video. Anyway, in the window of this store was an old, so what would that be, like the 50s chrome set? Or that's what we would have called it. So a chrome table, kitchen table, you know, with the big heavy chrome legs, the marble, sort of fake marble kind of cover or top on it, arborite. And boy, these are heavy duty. And 4 chairs. And the chairs were upholstered in red. Now, it wouldn't have been leather, but vinyl. And really nice and sturdy, and the price was right, so I bought it. And of course, that was the set that my daughter took to the city when she left home to go to university. And at some point, you know, during some of those moves or whatever, she sold it. And I still sometimes feel a twinge, but then, you know, reality of space. Someone like purple almost as much as I do. You know, I think sometimes bias tape gets a bad rap. I've said it before. I would probably wash these. I'm saving the paper labels, of course. I would typically wash this and then open them up and iron them flat. So, you know, something like this. Well, let's find one that isn't taped down. Oh, I guess most of them. Okay, here's one. If you open it up, you know, you got a fairly wide, that's a good 2 inches. You know, one thing I've never done is sewed a ruffle out of it. Now, it would be solid, but that might be kind of striking on the right page. I might have to do that. Remember, you heard it here first. Pink. Boy, I wonder what this person was doing with all this stuff. Typically, you would get, and the white, of course, could be dyed, you know, in a cup of tea or cup of coffee. Black. Oh, I guess I thought there might have been better goodies in here. I mean, it was probably still worth the, well, okay, because I guess, you know, this was in there as well. Okay, still more bias tape. More bias tape, more bias tape, more seam binding, bias tape. I'll probably take these white ones out and dye them. So I think that is it for today, guys. So the next video I do out of this mega haul, and oh, by the way, of course, I do save the cardboard so that I could re-wrap, you know, other things that I want to keep visible and sort of not taking up too much space. Anyway, yeah, so the next part will be books. And quite a few of them are vintage. Some of them are in the realm where they're scannable. So you'll get a peek at some of those. Anyway, I have my work cut out for me, and I'm sure you do too. So thank you so much for joining me. And remember to, you know, use what you have. If you are looking for more, you know, reach out to creators when you see haul videos like this. They may be prepared to, you know, make arrangements with you to share, you know, to bundle things to your specifications or whatever. I mean, I guess I shouldn't speak for anyone but myself. I guess what I'm saying is I would entertain those requests if they sort of make sense. And if you're on the hunt, then good hunting. If you are, you know how they say shop your closet? Because, you know, studies show that most of us wear about 20% of what we own. in terms of clothing. So I bet you could extrapolate those numbers and say the same thing about craft supplies. We're probably using, on average, 20% of what we own. So, you know, I guess, do as I say, not as I do. How does that sound? Anyway, I know, and you know, we all know, but yet we keep on shopping. Anyway, enough about that. I'm going to hang my head in shame, and do some laundry. Okay, see you guys. Thanks. Bye.